Ah, dang it. You ever miss when you're shooting at birds or clays? You ever wonder, why in the world am I missing? You ever wonder, is it my gosh darn feet? Yes, your feet are making you miss. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking all about the feet and how important of a role they play in your shotgun shooting success. Are you ready? Let's go! Hey, what's up guys? We'll get back to the video in just a second, but I gotta give a quick shout out to one of the big supporters of the TFL channel, which is readsports.com. Like you, I have a lot of outdoor passions, whether we're out on the water, summer fishing, drilling holes in the ice, using Garmin technology, drinking out of Yetis, or even hiking the mountains with some awesome Sitka gear out in the woods, really hunting anything. Readsports.com has it. They do not sell on that website boomsticks or the food that you feed boomsticks, so do not demonetize me for this. It's readsports.com. Let's get back to the video. In this how-to shotgun series, we've talked a lot about the eyes so far because that is so foundational. But right up there with the eyes are your feet and your footwork. I mean, this is the foundation of your body. Everything comes up and is affected by your feet. So when we talk about footwork, why is it important? There's a couple main big reasons. One is mount, how it affects our mount. The other is swing, how our feet affect our ability to swing and move on a target, have good smooth movement. First with the mount. So we have a machine set up here, a Promatic. Clay's going pretty much straight out. We know where we're gonna break the target. So we're gonna set up relative to the target break area. Target break area is nothing more than where we anticipate breaking the target. So I have some fancy lines drawn on the ground here. The arrow is pointed towards the target break area. And then we have a line perpendicular to that. Then we have some 45s coming off of that. We'll talk all about it. But there's a couple different ways that people set up that really gets them thrown off. One is they set up perpendicular. Target break area is there, their body's facing here. Some people like to shoot rifle like that. That is a major issue when it comes to mount. Why? I'll face the camera, I'm perpendicular to the camera. As I go up to mount, where's my shoulder pocket? My shoulder protrudes forward, and now I'm basically on the ball of my shoulder. So as that recoil comes back, I'm getting a lot into the ball of my shoulder. The exact opposite way is 100% square to the target break area. If we do that, and I go to mount up, like look at my knees, look at my hips, everything has to really contort to get on. I'm leveraging with my arm and everything's twisting. That's not ideal either, right? So we don't want to be perpendicular to the target break area. We don't want to be completely square. Keep in mind, there isn't necessarily one exact right way, but we're going to set some foundational principles that will help you establish a good stance. So let's just use this as a reference. Target break area with the arrow like we said, and then we have a 45 coming off of that. If I position my body with my feet on this 45-degree line, now I'm getting really close to a good stance. Why is it a good stance? Well, it creates a good shoulder pocket at this body angle. That's important. But the other thing is swing. If I'm perpendicular to the target and it's a live bird, for example, we don't know exactly where I'm going to break it, I have very little mobility to swing to my left. My hips are instantly binding the second I turn to the left. Yeah, I can swing way over here. But if you're approaching a live bird, I want to approach it from a more neutral position where, you know, I'm walking up, I'm creeping up on this bird, I'm not crossing my feet, and I'm about at a 45. I don't care if your foot's right there or if it's slightly back or flared out a little bit. We're close to a 45. If the bird goes left, I can mount and swing. If it goes right, I can mount and swing, right? I have those options. This is really important in the clay shooting games, especially when you don't know where the clay is going to come out. Say like trap. You know it's going to come out in front, it's going to rise, but it might go left, it might go right. If your hips aren't set up to be able to swing on a bird, you're going to get resistance and more than likely miss behind it. It has nothing to do with your ability to know lead and more to do with your body mechanics. And your hips binding, your swing slowing down and missing behind it. So set up on this 45, a few things I'm gonna point out that I think you can play with is flaring your toes. If I think that there might be a bird going left, say I'm shooting trap and there's gonna be a hard left, simply by flaring my toe, I increase the angle that I'm able to travel with my hips. Try this at home. If you put your feet like this, swing to the left and pay attention to when your hips bind. Okay, I'm binding there. I have a mark on where I was binding. Now flare your toe open like that, remount and swing. I mean, I would say I easily got 15 to 20% more movement ability before my hips started to bind simply by flaring a toe. I know a lot of folks, when they shoot shotguns, they're not thinking heavily about the feet and how their feet impact them. Having just been at the high school trap shooting championship and watching a lot of different shooters with a lot of different footwork and technique in their stance, there's not one right way to do it. And you can even have a bad stance and learn to compensate and shoot okay. But as you think about your footwork and you're able to make it ideal for your target presentations, you're only going to increase your ability to shoot. One last thing I want to mention about footwork is, yeah, having your feet in the right position, flared, however they are, at the 45, set up for the target break area, great. One huge important factor is shifting our weight from being 50-50, 50% on this foot, 50% on this foot, to going to our leading foot about 70% of our weight, right? And I'm doing that not with a big knee bend like that, right? It's not in the knees. I'm simply almost just at my shin wanting to roll forward, put a little bit more weight on the front of my foot, and this foot, you know, I can lift this foot and stay on balance. I don't want to be 50-50. I want more weight up front. Why? This is really important actually. If you're 50-50, you're straight up square, and you shoot like that, the recoil is gonna rock you back, right? That means you're gonna be slower for a follow-up shot. It's gonna knock you back. It's not gonna feel as good. If we go 70%, 30%, and then take the shot, we're firm into the gun, you know, and we can manage that recoil a lot better. That's one reason. The other reason is about our swing. So if you're 70% forward, look at my body movement. I'm moving through the one leg. I'm pivoting kind of. Try to pivot on two legs. If I pivot with two legs, look at my knees. They both have to turn, and you create a lot of body movement and dips in your shoulders. It's hard to get a smooth, consistent swing. If I simply go 70% and then I swing, look at the reduction in body movement, right? It's primarily all coming up one leg, straight line, versus that. That is not going to be good at all. So for a quick recap, our footwork, while it's not the sexiest topic we can talk about with how to shotgun, it is vitally important. It's important for our mount. It's important for our swing, our movement, and overall success in shotgunning. I'd love to hear your thoughts on footwork. Are they different than kind of what I laid out here? Did you learn anything new that you're going to try to apply? You can take some of these things and play with them in your living room, in your house, of course, with an unloaded shotgun. Try some different things. Think about your target break area. Say, I'm going to shoot it right there, and then try 50-50 and see how smooth you can run the gun along where the wall meets the ceiling, right? Where the wall meets the ceiling. You can use that line. See how smooth your swing is when you're 50-50. See how smooth your swing is when you're 70-30. See what your angle of movement is when you set up in different ways, and how easy it is to swing when you're set up a little bit more neutral to the target break area. So that's my thoughts on stance on your feet and why they're making you miss. It's a huge deal, honestly, guys. And for one last story, I was shooting with Foster Bartholow, a renowned trap shooter, very, very good. Him and his brother both. And as we were shooting trap and I was missing a hard left target, he said, just flare your front toe out to the left a little bit. So it was this movement. I went from this to this. By doing that little movement, it opened my hips, allowed me to get a little extended range on my swing, and then those hard lefts were not an issue anymore. That little movement can make a huge difference. So please do think about your feet. I appreciate you watching. I'd love to hear what else in this How to Shotgun series would you like to see. Put it in the comments down below. And as always, remember, whether you're in the field or in life, you're only gonna hit those shots you're laser focused on. So live target focused. See ya.